So you decided to change window felts, have you? Well, you're going to regret that. I mean, you're going to be happy you chose to do that. First of all, you got to get all of this crap out of the way. So you got to take the seat out and this stuff off or whatever. But if you're going to do window felts, you're going to know how to do all that anyhow. What I've run into here on this is, I'm doing window felts, but I'm also doing the roof rail seal and headliner at the same time. And, I do everything out of order, but that's just me. The window felts are held in with screws, at least on the 71. Mine's a 71. You got a screw here, you got a screw here, which you're already seeing a problem. You got one here, and then you got a few up here, which you have to remove these pieces, which these are original to my car. And I don't know what you call this. It depends on the website that you go to on what these are called. They do sell them. I ordered a pair from Summit for about $40. OPGI's got them. You can find them on eBay. The challenge is finding this seal for the back of the window and not this one that goes on the front, which is, if you search for vertical seal, quarter window, whatever, this is what it's going to lead you to. You got to kind of sleuth around and find this one. So you got to get that off, and then you can see up here you've got this little piece up here does not come off, but I'll more on that in a moment. You got 1, 2, and then I guess you don't really have to take this off to do the roof rails, but it's probably going to work better if you do, since they're all so tightly related and put together. So that's what I'm doing. But in order to get back to this video, room to get this screw out, I thought I was gonna have to take the window out, but you don't. It's not that serious. All you need to do is just take this bolt out, not even take it out, loosen this. This is the lowering stop for the window. Before I do that, what you really should do is mark this with something so you know where it was originally. There, I've marked mine with a Sharpie. It's not great, but really all you're after is just getting some kind of a reference line there to use later. Can you get that to drop down a little bit? And then you can bring your window down just enough to get that freaking screw out. So that's that. Now I'm going to go on a mild rant about the window felts that I bought from OPGI. They sell, and I see this now, they sell two different versions from PUI. One's about $140, the other one's about $185. Summit sells only one for the Chevelles that I can see, which is about $184, $185. I'm going to show you what I got and why I don't like it. Some of you with experience or a discerning eye might be able to see the problem that's coming up, and it is the radius of this bend on the new one. I was showing you guys the passenger side of the car. This is the driver's side I've already gotten out. This really doesn't work at all because this radius is not right, and due to the cost of these, I'm not even going to try to make it right. But the other thing is, this cheaper kit does not have these little, I guess they're alignment or little holder tabs on here. It doesn't have them. I also noticed that on this upright part of the window felt, these holes are in different spots than the original. Like, just nothing you can do about this. And then, even if you did re-drill it, you still have to deal with this radius, which is not right. And I know what you're saying. You can just bend that. No, you can't. I tried it. And even if you get this vertical part right, look, this is sticking up a mile off of your sheet metal. I went ahead and I just sprung for the kit on Summit. When it gets here, I'm going to do a comparison to this OPGI one and see, or I shouldn't say OPGI, this lower cost PUI branded one, and see what is the difference. I already know that the more expensive kits have, or they come with these alignment tabs on them, or these support tabs on them. Not very happy with this because this is not cheap, especially if you don't get a deal on shipping or whatever from OPGI. You're looking at a lot. They charge you like, I don't know, $40 or $50 to ship this box with these seals on them, something crazy. So that's a comparison from the old to the new, and you can see why I don't like it, and we'll see how the Summit kit does. Ordered this kit from Summit, and already you can see it has those parts on it. This is round. You've got the outside rubber here. In general, these are a much thicker and better piece, and also line this up, you can see the radius fits way better. It's not quite there, but I think a couple cuts in here will get it flexing the way it needs to be. I mean, it's almost just right on. For an extra $40, I don't see why would you even mess with this? The difference in the felt quality is also quite stark. From original, the Summit one is just exactly the same. This one kinda has felt, and it is not nearly as soft or flexible as the Summit one. So there you go. And the Summit kit comes with fresh hardware to mount all these things and extra felt material, and this kit does not. So if you're replacing the window felts on your door panels, it comes with all the staples in there to let you enjoy a good time doing that. And then the screws, which a lot of mine were rusted, I'm glad I even got them out. This comes with a fresh set of that, which is great. And you don't get that with this. That you start trying to piece this together, you're going to be spending money anyway. So there is no reason to buy this kit, none. Just spend the extra money, get the upgraded kit from PUI, or I would say just get the kit from Summit, because I can tell you that's the way to go. Over here I got to put the window felt on, so I'm going to show you, hopefully, how this terrible process can be done in realistic expectations of somebody just wanting to drive their Chevelle. So as good of a match as these Summit Seals window felts seem to be to the originals, this is about as close as you can get it at first. Yeah, you can push it in here a little bit more, but you struggle, and it's for a couple of reasons to get it any further than this. Number one is because up here you're going to have to trim some off the top. I had to do this on the passenger side as well. You can see how the chrome piece or the stainless steel is popping into my roof rail there. I'm going to have to trim this down about 1/4 of an inch. Same thing I went through on the passenger side. And then you can see that this radius, all right, we're not bad up here, we're not bad down here, but here you got giant problems, and you cannot bend this unless you start to pie cut that radius out. So that's what I'm going to have to do here first. And then on top of this, you see where your new screw hole is here. It's going to be way higher than where the old ones were, and it's like that all the way down. So just accept that you're going to have to drill it and move on. So what I'm going to do is take my straight cut snips. This is what I did on the other side. And I'm just going to cut off, I don't know, about that much of it. Maybe, definitely the part that's sticking out you don't need, 3/8 of an inch or so. And it's tough, of course. And it's going to spring sideways a little bit. took my Dremel and just kind of, actually that's not too bad, just kind of smooth this out so that it's not poking into the roof rail seal. I'm not worried too much about, you know, about how it looks or whatever, because this is the part that's going to go right up into that seal on the roof rail. What I am going to do next is starting at this hole, and you're going to freak out, or at least I did. I'm going to pie cut it and see it's going to spring over. Just, it's all right. Make them, you know, decently close together. And try not, make sure you're not getting into this part of it. And that's probably good there. And then on the other one, I added a few more up here because I found that I basically had to. And what that did over there was, once I had it laid down, I was able to take this and bend it back, and then to get the straight part straight again, I was able to bend this back over like so. So that's why I cut it in both places, even though the factory ones didn't have that. I don't know. Are these different? I mean, obviously they are a little bit. And so now I just come here and kind of straighten these all back up a little bit, because you're going to wind up working this thing over anyhow. Don't worry about really how it looks just yet. What we need to do is get it in and get it to kind of set in where you want it. And I'm actually going to curl this up so I can get this piece out of the way of that roof rail seal. Get this bottom part started first. I've got it sitting where it's pretty decent on here. You can see where I touched that paint up before I put this on here, because this car has been repainted back in the 90s. And the original brown paint was under the old roof felt or window felt, so I just took a little bit of Bayer red spray paint, threw it on there. And this felt is already starting to sit in better than the passenger side did originally, which makes me very happy. So I've actually got it, I think, just about where I want it, here on the bottom. So now I'm going to start going in and re-drilling our holes here. There's 3 on the bottom, and I actually put a 4th here on the passenger side, just because I needed to hold that just a little bit tighter on that part. And then we'll massage this into shape. We've got a little gap here, just like we did on the other side. I think the factory did too. Push this back, re-drill these 2 holes, and that'll be that. I'm using a 3/32 bit here. You can see the new hole versus the old hole. And I found on the passenger side too, the old holes were just way lower. And you're gonna just keep doing that until you get back up here. And even with just those 2 screws in, you can kind of see how this thing is almost wanting to take a set. All right, we just lift it up. You roll that thing out with a little, I use one of those little orange picks from Harbor Freight to get up under that rubber and roll it out. But look, this is not too bad just as it sits. And we got a nice tight clamp up there against the roof rail seal. And I almost think right where it is almost right where it's going to be. So I'm going to continue on this, and if we have a little gap there, we have a little gap there. That's going to get some black 3M weather strip adhesive, and I'm going to call it a day and move on to something else so I can drive this car. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording, and I thought I was. Didn't miss a whole lot other than I had to re-drill these first two holes here and here, but this one I was able to reuse the factory hole along with that one back there, surprisingly. Again, this window felt doesn't come with a hole right here, so I'm going to drill one, and we're going to mount, or we're going to put another screw in right here and see how our seal looks. What didn't get shown is what I was really trying to show you. Not rocket science, but when I put this screw in up here, this seal was pushed in behind the sheet metal of the car. So you just take, your little Harbor Freight freebie that I know everybody has. You just get up behind here, kind of point it up, you just roll it out. Okay, you may have to do this a couple times as you massage your seals along, but that way you don't have to take that stuff out if you don't want to. Even when you do your final fit and installation here, you're going to have some of this that's going to be rolled under. This is the best way I've found to do it, especially since you got a gap here that you can't do crap about anyways. So that actually kind of works out. I'm not worried about this because the rest of it fits so good. I'm just going to fill this in with some, you fill it in with whatever. I've got black, weather strip adhesive. Let's put a little dab on there and call it good. All right, now here's what I'm talking about. Before you crank everything down for the final time, see, I've got those screws tight and I've got this peeled back carefully, but somehow, some kind of way, you get a little zinger there. So a little WD-40 or some hot PUI if you're in 2024 terms. Just be careful with it. There we go. That's it. Okay. So that's it. I'm just going to tighten those 3 screws down, and you see here, I may wind up putting another screw in right here, which is what I did on the passenger side, just to keep that tight. They didn't have it on the driver's side, but you go from here all the way to here between, fasteners. So I think I'll probably just add one in. But that's that part of it. It is a total pain, and if you don't pie cut this, you'll never ever get this in. Don't be afraid to trim up here if you need to, because you're going to have plenty to make a nice tight seal. And you're going to be very happy that you took time, to do that. And you're also going to be happy that you spent the money to get the much better kit. Get the Summit kit or the nicer one from OPGI, which I think will be comparable to this. Do not get that cheap kit. Don't do it. You're going to hate yourself. So, and then I did end up putting another screw right there, as you can see. Still wet from the old WD I put in there for the drill bit. But that's it. And the only thing left before putting the window back on is to put this guy, or not back on, but to roll the window up. Let's put this guy back in, and it just clips in like so. Clips on the other side, I should say. And this kind of keeps that window kind of aligned. I'm gonna have to use 2 hands, but you get the idea. Go ahead and reset your lower stop and tighten that up, just so you don't forget. Good luck.